Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Let's get that headphone set going. Go, gone. There it is. Doc here from... Oh, we're not streaming yet. Let's start streaming. Are we streaming? Start streaming. Yeah, we're streaming. I think we see it. I see it. I think this is it. Do I have the right one plugged in? How many wires do I have? Let's see if I can hear myself. Let's see if I hear myself. Let's see, live. In 5 seconds, we skipped that. And looks like we are there. Do I hear me? That's the bigger question. I don't hear me. All right, so this is... Wait a minute, I think I do hear me. Yeah, I think I do hear me. Okay, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Doc here from North America. Let's see what else we got going on here. Seems like there's a lag today on the system. Just double checking. I'm still not convinced. I don't think I hear me. Let's see. Yeah. There. Is it it? Try that. Maybe it's a start thing going on. What's going on here? Do we have a key problem? I'm not sure if we have a key problem or not. I see it. No, I can't have a key problem. So, testing 1 2, 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 testing 1 2. We should be working. Let's double check this again. It seems right. Can anybody hear me there? Say something. I hear. Oh, you do hear me. I'm not sure why I don't hear me. Okay, that's good enough. Thanks, Robin. All right. For some reason today we don't hear me, so that's all right. That's fine with me. If everybody hears me, that's cool. All right. Let's see what we got going on here today. Let's see. Right. We have the euro up there at the moment. I think we have the euro up there for no. What is that? That's Bitcoin, which stayed in a daily buy there, which is interesting. There's the euro moving steadily and straight. I saw the 10-year bond dropping down yesterday, so I was wondering, is that a fear of inflation because of the metals, the way they moved, or I was wondering what was going on with that. Doc always likes to try to put a story to whatever's happening, thinking maybe we can actually relate to it more than the idea that it's just numbers. So, now speaking of numbers, let's get the spreadsheet up there. And right there is the euro on J4X. You can see lots of green over the days and weeks now. You can see the white line, which is the fast-moving stochastic, way at the top. And then when you look at our Chicago Quant, same situation with our white line, heading towards the top, just like there. Let's see. Let's tighten this J4X one up. Yeah, see, it's doing the same thing right there. And then the rate of change is the dark, is that bluish thing right there, ROC. And then the dotted one is the slow-moving stochastic, and it becomes like a support situation there. So we put two different stochastics on that chart there. Sound height, is it sound pretty good? Okay, I'm not sure why I'm not hearing it today. Did I do something crazy with this thing? Anything's possible. You never know with technology. There's always something going on. Let's see. All right. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. You can see the euro still marching up, and we're seeing weaker and weaker dollar. Not necessarily damaging dollar, just weaker dollar, which is a-okay to us, because that's really what we want. We really do want a weaker dollar here in the States, because that means that we'll get some commerce from it. And that's what we really want, is we want just a little commerce. I mean a little bit more than usual from a currency situation. In other words, when our currency drops down, foreign purchasers can come in and buy a little bit more. So, and there's a good, a good level of concern about the dollar. I don't see too much of it, but let me just show you a dollar chart, since we rarely ever do that. What we usually do is we're always looking at all the currencies. I always refer to it as we are Eurocentric, in the sense of when we're looking at currency. We don't really look at the currency through the eyes of an American. We look at the currencies through the eye of the world. And so let's see when you see the dollar index, which is here somewhere. There it is. The UUP we use. You can see it's been gliding down for weeks and weeks and weeks and months now. Just been finding a way to go down and down and down, sliding. And, kind of hesitant all the way out to the beginning of June. And then just at the end of May, it started to roll over a little bit more. And it just keeps on just inching its way down. But now this is the ETF to the DXY. And so I think the DXY is still, let me see if I can figure out where the DXY is. I think the DXY is like still high. I mean, it's really high. We're going to find it here for you. I don't really follow the DXY anymore. We used to do a combination. We'd look at the DXY against the 5 pairs. No, I'm wrong. What we used to do is we used to take the 5 pairs out of the 6 of the DXY and put it against the commodities. That's what we used to do. We used to call it Algo Wars. A very fascinating chart. So we took, the euro, we took the cable, we took the Canadian, we took the yen, we took the Swiss franc, and we left the kroner out of it. And we used to do those 5 because at one time the kroner was just not that active to put in there. And it was a very small part. I think it was only 4% of the index. So we used to do those, and then we had about 20 some odd commodities like oil and heating oil and gold and silver and copper, and we used to look at hogs and cattle and wheat and corn and coffee and cotton and cocoa and all that stuff. We used to look at all those and then put the two together against each other. We used to call it Algo Wars, and we used to be able to look at those things. Okay, let's see what we got here. Sound Laplace. Okay, why euro is so on such a rise? I guess there's hope. When it comes to the story, I can tell you, Doc can be the simplistic way. My math been saying we're in a buy for, where's it at? It sounds arrogant, and I don't like to do that too much, as bad as I am. But when looking on the fact checks Excel sheet, we're 10 weeks in a weekly buy, and we're 10 days in a daily buy. So, the reason why the euro is going up is because it's going up, and our math has been confirming it for 10 weeks. That's the easiest answer to it, but I don't think that's the true answer. Our math is just following or leading. I don't know if it's leading or following, but what it's doing is it's telling us where it wants to go for the last 10 weeks, and that is up. Okay, so now why it's going up? Not because my math is telling it to, but my math is telling us that it wants to go up. And so now we have to figure a story. And so I'm assuming the story is that they're going to really spend $2 trillion to try to pump the economy over there. And so money, remember the euro was created. You have to fall back to the old situation, the beginning. You fall back to the beginning. And that is that the euro was created to compete with the dollar. And we, as Americans, wanted it to compete with the dollar because we were. How Janos had a webinar and a video about how to trade economic news, and then after a while he dropped it because it started to drift from success. In other words, it got even worse than what it was already. In other words, it used to be you could trade economic news when it came out. You could trade it for days and weeks, at least days. Let's put it that way. After 2008. Economic news became a shorter half-life, I guess you could say. And so economic news became less relevant because now the central banks were doing most of the lifting now. Okay, so you fast forward to 2020, we've had 12 years of central bank control of money supply and, just everything, equity buying, equity, bond buying, an enormous difference than what it was in 2005 or 4 or 1970 or 1950 or something like that. So our dream in America was to have a competing currency so that our dollar wouldn't distort our money supply one, our money supply two. In other words, our statistics, because we were getting tired of our statistics being distorted from foreign intervention in our currency. And so, and we could do nothing about it because our currency became the world reserve currency. And we were hoping that we could take that world reserve currency pressure off ourselves and actually be able to view the dollar mainly as the United States itself. And in other words, our dollar didn't represent all the economic activity in America anymore. It was starting to represent the economic activity outside the United States. I think that's the more correct way of describing it. Now, does that make any sense to you there, Rokos? Rokos? And so, Rokos Juicy, I like that. That's a good name. And so, yo, Quad Z, what's happening? So, so what happened was we were very pro strong foreign currency. And we were hoping that it would free up our economic stats and we'd be able to follow our markets and our economy better. Because the Fed was starting to put fudge factors in. We had money supply. We used to follow like M1 money supply and M2 money supply. And it made a lot of sense. And the brokerage houses could follow that. And the investment funds could follow that. And it all made a lot of sense. And then as the 70s and the 80s started to roll along in the 90s, it really got bad. And our money supply, that's how the euro, in other words, that's why the euro is not called the euro future, because there's already a euro future. And nobody rarely ever talks about it. What it is it's American currency trapped in Europe from commerce. And so, in other words, it was expensive to bring it back to the States because of taxes and so forth. And so that's what's going on. That's what that whole thing's about. So now you fast forward to today and you say, why the damn thing's going up the way it is there's hope that we're going to see some positiveness in the European Union. That's what it really is. It's they actually think there's going to be some hope. And what I mean by hope is, they'll take $2 trillion and maybe start the economy up. I doubt it. I don't think it'll happen, but that's the way it goes. Because I think Brussels is way too strong now for economic policy. And so their economic policy is socialism. So it's awful hard to grow a country in socialism. If it worked, there would be a CCCP, or China would be not a colony of the United States. We're rebelling at the moment. Neither of them are strong. They're just not. They have a lot of labor. CCCP, the Soviet Union, is gone. Now you have the Russian Federation. And for CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, you have, I don't know what you have, really. If we're not plowing $3 or $4 or $500 billion a year into the place, they're awful angry and giving us a virus. So, I don't know how you can calculate it that way. So, all right, the euro is rising due to the weak dollar. Yeah, I think it's rising more because they see 2 trillion euros possibly going to be spent. So the dollar is going down. So investors are moving out of the dollar a little bit. Not a lot. The dollar's not going down that far. Let's see where the DXY is. Let me see if I can find a DXY. DXY is, I think it's it's got to be like 90 or something like that. Yeah, it's probably like, it's something like that. Let's see. DXY. No, not there. Okay, I know where to get it. DXY. Let's find DXY. I want to see where the DXY is. I bet it's 99 or 100 still. It's so pumped up. Let's see. That way, I just want to see where the DXY is. And that'll give me a little bit more ammunition to describe what I think is going on. Let's see. Indexes? Yeah, there it is. Indexes. DXY. Let's try this. DXY. No, not EXY. But that's the answer, really. It's not that they're running from the dollar. They're running towards the euro. There it is, dollar index, cash. What's it trading at? It's trading at 90. Oh, is it lower? It's lower. So it's trading at 93, 90, almost 94, 93.70. So it's moved down from its high of 103. So it went to 103 back in March during the calamity and has traded down into the low 90s now. I was talking in one of my webinars here at Dukascopy, like I was looking for it to go down to like 87. That's what I figured it'll do. And I think I put a chart up at the time. We don't, like I said, I don't look at the dollar. Hell, I thought it was at 99 still. I didn't know. I watched everything else. So let's go back to the euro here. And there's the euro. Matter of fact, Dukascopy might have the dollar index in there. I bet if I punch that in. Let's see if we can punch that in. DXY. No, let's see. No, doesn't put it up there. It might be some other symbol. So that's really what the issue is. It's not that they're running away from the dollar, as they're running towards the euro because they see almost 2 trillion euros going to be invested. So money wants, a lot of people forget, money really likes to make money. In other words, investors like to make money. It's not always crazy minus bond concept, Simon says, I bet you've been waiting for me to say that. Laplace, I like that, like in the math. Simon says the euro is rising due to the weak dollar. Is that right? Well, yes, they're selling dollars. But it's not like there's any confidence thing there. It's just they're moving in that. Now, what would kind of give you an idea that maybe there is a confidence thing is this. Look at the metals. The metals are kind of, moving very well compared to, the dollar, of course. And so there may be a little doubt. Maybe it's an election thing. There may be a little bit more weakness than I'm insinuating. Let's see if we can find, there it is. There's gold. So today gold is, what's gold doing? Gold is still hanging out, doing pretty well. I think it got up to like 40 or something like that. Let's see. Gold got up to, where did gold get to? Gold had gotten up to, oh wow. Gold got up to 1974.70. Yow. Let's look at that on our quant. Let's see. Let's open that up. Wow. It's down $44 from its high. Zzz. That's a nice little topping out. Let's see. Where's it? Robin combo. So, yeah, I mean, the dollar's going down. Exactly. But more than that, the euro might have a profit in it. There might be a profit there to be made. Not the currency itself, but the continent might actually get its act together. They say they're going to do 2 trillion. Maybe they're going to do 2 trillion. I don't know. I guess it's an election time. They got to do something, right? Yeah, so I have, is that, where's that at? Let's go, let me look at it now. The combo. And gold. Yeah, gold went up to 1974.7. Look at that. It's, wow, they knocked it down to 1900 at the same time today? Zzz. Wow, some real wild movement there. Let's see what they're doing to silver. Now, I'd imagine if there was a real dollar problem, it would have gone through the 1974. Gold went up to 26 and change. Nice. Let's see. That's what we were looking for. Is like, the best would be up into the 26s. Got to 26.27. Nice. just Robin and I did a little write-up and a chart. Anybody who listens to us here knows we've been very bullish on the silver now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And then when you go and look on the spreadsheet, it just jumped back into the weekly buy again. Was it 3 weeks ago, right there? And gold's been in a weekly buy for 7 weeks. So it's been doing. Our math will tell you the direction of the general trend almost all the time, perfectly. And what do I mean by perfectly? It will more than likely, if you look at it after 1 week, 2 week, so forth, as it confirms itself every week. When you look back, you'll be like, "Wow, it went up," but it never goes up straight. Nothing goes up straight. So not even the Turkish Lira. What it does is it goes up like a saber tooth. So when you're looking at it on a day-to-day or intraday basis, you're missing the general trend. But you can see here is silver, right? Let's see. Here's silver right there. We went into the weekly buy right there. And as each week goes by and you see it's still in the buy, you see it goes up, goes into a weekly sell here for 2 weeks, I guess it is. And then it joins right back again and goes into the buy again. So as you can see here, it tried to top out. It tried to give us a low. That one might have made a low from that getting in there. But overall, the math said, okay, no, this is not going down. And it's going up, back up again. And so it caught the trend. So what it's done is since it went into the trend, it went up $8. So, I mean, we've almost now, since the first time we went into a weekly buy, has it tripled almost? Let's see, it went into the weekly buy, I guess back in the 14s. So it's almost doubled. It's a little less than doubled. So, I mean, our math will keep you in the solid trend all the time. We have 40 years of constantly seeing that, and we've backtested it many other ways. But in the end result is that it will keep you honest. If it goes into a sell, be fearful that it's going down. If it goes into a buy, be fearful that it's going up, because more than likely it is. And there's nothing I can do about it or anybody else. This thing's just going to do what it's going to do. So Simon, yeah. And Laplace, let's see. Do we use any of Laplace's mathematics? I'm trying to think if I do. Maybe in string I do. I guess and I'm not real happy about string theory to begin with. But yes, we do use Laplace's string math and string theory. So how about that one? Simon says. I like that. Simon says. Come on, say something else. Then I can read it and say Simon says again. I like that. Docs like that stuff. I'm like that stuff. That's cool. All right, let's go over and take a look at cable. See what they did. Maybe they jacked that too? That would be interesting to see what they did with the cable. See if they popped that up. Did it get to 29? Looks like it was shy of the 29. Maybe not. Oh, maybe it did hit the 29. Cool. Let's take a look at it on our J4X quant. Let's see, there it is. I got a high of 128.93. So, this is Hinkiashi, so these bars, so they can be a little exotic when it comes to the height and high and so forth. Like there, it shows something at 29.04. So, but that's the Hinkiashi. So, and that's like a moving average of the open, a moving average of the high, a moving average of the close, a moving average of the low. It's a combination of all those. That's what the Hinkiashi is. It's a moving average of all four of those combined together. So it's kind of like if anybody ever watched the Dow Jones Industrial Average, they have a theoretical high and a theoretical close versus a actual high and an actual close. You like that? Is that why it says Laplace, or is that your last name? Yeah, we use that math and string theory. Let's see. So where are we at here? I'm trying to think what else. Okay, so yeah, the cable just doesn't seem to be as jumping as much because maybe they're not going to spend $2 trillion, whereas Europe is going to spend $2 trillion. So that's pretty cool, you know. And trust me, traders, money likes to make money. It really does. At the transformation, right? Applause, transformation. All right. Let's see. Let's head over to, unless someone wants to see something else. What else can I say? I guess we're doing it. We're doing it good. So, anybody want to see anything particular? I'd like to see something particular. I'd like to see something anybody else wants to see. If not, I'll just go over to the Turkish Lira and we'll check out Canadian and the oil. I understand. Oh, speaking about the Canadian, I understand that they're doing testimony on WE, in Canada. I guess that is what Mr. Trudeau has an issue with at the moment. He's in trouble with that. I'm not sure. Who knows? It's an odd government. So. No, you're fine. Hell, you probably speak English better than I do. Or let's put it this way: you probably spell English better than I do. I'm dyslexic. I have a fusion problem all my whole life, and it was never treated. I didn't find out about it until I was going to school in England. Like when I was 20 or something like that. So, I spell horrible. All right, let's check out until someone else sees something. We'll go see what the Turkish Lira is doing today. This thing is just incredibly... Oh, wait a minute. I think it's moved. Has it moved? Yeah, it moved. Whoa, look at that. Okay, whatever deal was going on is done. Whatever it was, obviously it's not there. They did that last night, was it? I guess before the markets closed. Boy, that Turkish Lira looked like there was some type of deal had been made. It looked like something really good was going to happen. So, I'm not sure what has changed, but obviously the Turkish Lira is back into action again and ready to play. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. It's ready to rock and roll. So let's see, what else do we got going on here? Let's take a look at that on our spreadsheet. I thought we were going to go into a weekly sell. I honestly thought finally get into a weekly sell. Finally, they were going to sit on. I thought they'd come up with some type of resolution, you know. But no, my God, this thing's going to go on forever. They're going to. I keep on thinking this poor thing's going to go the way of the rand and the ruble and so forth. They're going to take it up into the teens and do all kinds of things. So let's see now. Let's go to Dukascopy and look at that there. You can see there's some action there. Wow, look at it. The rate of change is rocketed up. This thing is trying to lift up. All that red did not tip us off about the two big greens coming. So you can see the spike. Wow. So that happened. It started yesterday, I guess, and I guess what was that? That was the Friday. They sold it down, then took it up on Monday. I guess towards the later part of the day, or we weren't. Was after our webinar in the morning, so we weren't paying attention. And then it shot up, and then you can see it tried to go into a weekly sell there, but the black histogram stopped it at the time. So we are at this point in time. We are 34 weeks now in a weekly buy in this product. 34 weeks. I mean, like when we tighten this puppy up, let's do that. When we go back and look, find the green line, it's like way back there. Where is it? Hell, it's so far back there now we don't even see the green line anymore. No, it's less than that. Somehow or another the green line has disappeared out of there, but it's 34 weeks back. It's way back in here, down in this area here. I don't know why it disappeared on us. So, I thought they had a deal. It looked like they had a deal, looked like they had something figured out because the product had literally died. I kept on insinuating maybe whoever trades it very aggressively went on vacation. Maybe they're back now. I mean, actually, it was a Monday that it went nuts. So maybe they realized, like, oh shoot, someone hasn't been trading my position for the last month. Maybe just because I took a long vacation. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. Well, we'll see. We shall see if this follows through and we go on some type of tear and this thing goes flying up even further, and we get into the high 7s and 8s and go doodly-do all the way up. So, like I said, I'm a little concerned that it's going to go the way of the ruble and the rand and the Mexican peso and so forth. I think it's going to get going. And then I think the next shoe to drop will be the Chinese yuan. The Chinese yuan is going to have issues somewhere down the road. I guess there's a lot of issues there. I don't know how much the U.S. Federal Reserve is willing to prop it up, but they're going to keep their money in dollars more and more and more, I would assume. Every time they say they're not buying more bonds, they go and buy them in another country. So they're buying bonds. They're buying American bonds no matter what they say, whatever policy they claim they have. They're out there buying American bonds all the time, and they just do it in foreign countries like, Brussels or something like that. They just go and buy it somewhere else. They got caught buying $300 billion worth of American bonds when they were telling everybody they were selling them. Well, it's like a Dalio thing with Bridgewater or something. All right, let's take a look at Canadian. I imagine one of the question marks in my head as I said, let's look at Canada, is Canadian's been going down, and that's usually a sign of strength in oil. So it'll be interesting to see where oil is. Also, I can look on the screen and see it's down 44 cents. It ran to 41.93. So it did lift up with gold. We really should put a minute chart up or something like that and look at gold and see when they took it apart. That could be very interesting. Does anybody care if I jump off a little bit? I'm curious. I would like to look at gold a little bit closer. And let's put a minute chart up on Dukascopy, and let's put gold in there. I want to see what it did when it got to 74. That's a minute chart. So it did it. When did it do it? Did it last night in European hours? Your Asian hours? No, wait a minute. Gold ran to 74. No, it's still a daily. There we go. Let's do a 15-minute chart. There we go. I want to see what it looked like, how fast it dropped. Someone must have come in and done something wild. So it got up to all-time highs last night in Asian hours, and then as Europe opened up, wow, they smack-a-doodled that puppy. Look at that. So Asians took it up from the 40s to all-time highs, and then they crushed it. The Europeans and the Americans crushed it back down again dropped almost $100. Wow, that's really cool. Let me just look at that gold again. So it got to 74. I was like, so it fell $75 over a 5-hour period, 6-hour period. So it dropped $75, and now it's inching its way back up again. Right there. That is wild. Is that wild or what? That looks like a central bank play. They'll bang it down a little bit for a while. I understand. I was reading that the arbitrage is messed up at the moment. Not sure why. They didn't have any real clear picture of why it was messed up. They just explained how it's messed up, and that is that the London-New York arbitrage, which normally is working, has been squeezing things. So some of the banks have been closing out their arbitrage. They don't like to lose money. Contrary to public opinion, money does not like to lose money. So in other words, they do not like zero interest rates when they have to buy them, and minus interest rates. So in this case here, the arbitrage between London and New York got a little skewed, about 150 tons of of gold came in, and they they were cleaning up the arbitrage, and the arbitrage is cleaned up now, and that put pressure on the metals, and that should be about over with. I'm figuring that some stuff got screwed up during the virus panic. I don't know how anybody could claim that they're selling gold. In other words, gold went down during we did this yesterday. We talked about it. I mean, silver went down to 1171 in the middle of a pandemic, planetary panic. Now, how does metals get taken down to like 6-month lows? In the silver's case, silver fell to like 10-year lows, 15-year lows. I mean, how does that happen in a calamity? Aren't they supposed to be a refuge for last resort, place to hide? And so that's why Robin and I were totally convinced we were seeing a big bounce coming out of this. And obviously, we've been playing it that way, and obviously we are on the right trend there, So, but that's really the question mark out of it all is who is selling this stuff in the middle of a panic? I mean, obviously somebody who needed the money, but even then, what's wrong with these people? Don't they understand what a call and a put is? I don't get that. I just don't understand. Am I sounding like James Kirk? But I don't understand. It's like, what is their malfunction? They're supposed to be professionals. Why aren't they hedged? I just don't. I went on this tirade last week, right, about insuring cars and insuring health and insurance for houses and insurance for apartments, insurance for this, that, and the other thing. How come they're not insuring their portfolios? I don't understand that. Are they that incompetent? It seems like it. So whoever was selling down in the 1170s obviously disrupted the market to a point where we thought, at least Robin and I, we thought that this thing had to bounce. It had no choice. It had to bounce. And it had to bounce out of the range. Since it broke the bottom of the range, it had to distort itself in oscillation to compensate for that. And here we are. It went to 1171, so now it's going to 26.27. It just had to do that. Matter of fact, if it had gone to 26.29, it would have been so perfect instead of 27, because it would have been like rounding itself out in hundredths perfectly. It just missed it by 2 cents. So that is what we've been seeing, and it's got me confounded. It really does. It has me totally confounded. That who could be selling that stuff? Simon says, they're selling why are they selling, the dollar, or why are they buying the euro? I'm saying, like, why did they sell it at 61, the 1171? What malfunction of an investment banker or broker or fund manager did that? I mean, wow. Talk about stupidity. I mean, it should be. You ever see that strange commercial where was it Maroon 5, the music group? Someone loved them, so what they did is they had it tattooed on their head, but they didn't know how to spell maroon, and instead they spelled moron. So that money manager should have moron tattooed on their head. All right, let's go back to Canadian, and we'll look at let's go look at oil and compare it to the Canadian move. Let's see. I cracked myself up. Doc cracks himself up. Me, myself, and I. All right, all three of us are having a good time here. You can see that now crude oil is looking like the way Turkish Lira did, except for the fact that it's not going through the roof, and it was much higher. Crude oil is down about 35 cents, but you can see a lot of green there, and you can see this stuff is trying to move down. And you can see on our fact check sheet right there, we're now that's curious. We are 12 weeks in a buy, but we're 3 days in a sell. So it has been trying to sell down, but it hasn't been able to go anywhere. Let's put it up on the screen there. Let's show you in the Chicago Quant. That's a September contract. And you can see it's, it went into the sell off of this one here, I guess it is. And it has gone down from that one. You can see it has gone down, but it finds the way to go back up every time. Yesterday they found a way to take it a little bit higher, but they still didn't get it into the... Wait a second. What is going on there? We're in a buy, not a sell. Okay. All right, so we are in a buy for 3 days, not a sell for 3 days. So we got that in the wrong box. That 3 belongs over there. We do this manually, so sometimes we actually miss the box. And you can see right here, we went into the buy there, and it has been going up. But it has also been trying to go down. It has tried to go down. It just doesn't do a good job at it. Goes down, makes new lows, and then it turns a way to go up because, again, we're in a weekly buy. And obviously, we're in a daily buy, and I didn't notice that. And I had it all screwed up on the chart there. And you can see it only went into a sell for a day right there from that day. And then the next day, it went into the buy, and we had the line in there. But I did somehow or another, I kept on pushing the wrong box. So I guess it's the first of the boxes that I fixed the numbers in, and somehow or another, I kept on pushing the wrong box. So where I had 1, I probably put a 2, and then the 2, then I put a 3, and so forth. And that's a good thing about this webinar. It makes me look at my spreadsheet there every so often a little bit closer. Most of the time, 9 out of 9.9 or something like that. Almost 9.9 out of 10 times, the right numbers are in there. But once in a while, we end up somehow or another it ends up in the wrong box, and then the webinar straightens that out. So, caveat, buyer beware. And since nobody pays for it, you're not buying anything. So let's see, what else can we say about that? Let's move that down a little bit too, like that. So yeah, you can see it's trying. Let's see if we can widen this out. It's not getting any closer to the daily sell at the moment. Wow, what a nice drop though. Let's see what gold looks like in our quant. Did it do anything? Do. Not even close. Not even damaging. Look at that. It's almost like unchanged for the day. After going up to 74 and then falling all the way down to par, 1900, it's chilled out a little bit there. So let's see what silver did. Now silver is trying to climb back up. It's generating a red dot as we speak. Let me control R that. Yeah, it's still generating a red dot. Oh, look at that! It's pushing it into the sell too. It's trying to make a daily sell here too. Interesting. Well, it's climbed. I mean, it's almost doubled since we've been mumbling about this thing. So, I mean, silver's gone from basically the $12 area to the $26 area. So, yeah, I mean, it's basically, we were screaming when it was in the 11s, like, oh my God, this is like free money, free money. Robin kept on saying over and over, I got to buy more of those coins. I got to buy more of those coins. So, let's see. Simon says gold may have made a second peak in 2011. Cool. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Simon says. I like that. We used to play that game. When I was in grade school, we used to play that game a lot. Even the inbreds. We used to have these inbreds, and they weren't allowed to be with us, because I grew up out in the country. And so what they had is we had about 7 or 8 inbreds. What happens is some family relationships got a little too close, and someone had a baby. And back in those days, I went to the 6-room schoolhouse, and so the inbreds were kept away from the general population of the rest of us. And where we used to play Simon Says, 1 or 2 of the inbreds would try to play Simon Says on their own. I remember one time I actually slipped. I used to watch the inbreds. I used to sneak to a spot to eat where I could see the inbreds out a window, and I used to watch them. So I found them fascinating. And through my life, oh, forget it. God, I'm drifting into that again. Anyway, silver is falling. So you can see right there, it's having its issues, I guess. And since it's doubled, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that is really good. I mean, it's doubled in a matter of 3-4 months, something like that. Now, let's go look at what Simon says. Let's see if we can find, we'll put gold up there on a monthly, and we'll go from there. is that, and then let's put a monthly in there. Or let's put a weekly in there. That might be a little bit more descriptive. Let's see if we can blow this whole thing up like that too, make it better. Let's see how that looks. La 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 la. Do do do. I can tell when I see someone that's an inbred. It's amazing. There's a few of them in society, but they're not as bad as the ones I grew up with, and or in school. I've run across two of them. One at university, and I could tell, and she admitted that she was it was her cousin and her mother, and then another one did the same thing. First cousin and mother, and I could spot that, and that was at the Hun, at one of the most prestigious high schools in America, in the top 100. They all have the same characteristics. It's interesting. Yeah, look at that. It seems to have it's taken out the high, hasn't it? Like right there. So that's now this is Hinkiashi. So the moving average of the open, the high, the low, the close has taken it beyond. It's broken an all-time high in Hinkiashi. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. See? Now as a bar chart, can I turn this off for a second? Let's see if we can do this and we can get a bar chart up here. Let me see if we can figure out how to do this. I don't want to mess up my Hinkiashi. I like it the way it is. How do we do this? I'll have to try that tomorrow. But yeah, good, Simon. Good spotting there. Good spotting there. Gold is, Quad Z says gold is that in daily and weekly buy or sell. No, they've been in weekly buy for what, 7? Weekly buy, daily buy for a bunch of days and weeks. Even platinum went into a weekly buy last week. 7 weeks in a weekly buy. So it's been in a weekly buy. Let's see, right here. There it is right there. It's been in a weekly buy since, what is that? That's June 12th. So the end of the beginning of June, it went into the weekly buy. And where was that? At the time, it was 1750 area. So it's going almost 250 points, 225 points up. Are we cool or what? We are the only technician. I don't know if there's any technician. I've never seen any technician, market technician, educator, or whatever you want to call me, that actually puts a fact check sheet next to his charting, and then when someone asks a question, we put it up there bravely with our mathematics every time. Something we don't even have on. Didn't we do that yesterday? What did we put up there yesterday? GBP something or another? AUD something or another? What did we put up there yesterday? Swiss AUD? I don't know. Something up, right? And Doc's math ferreted out the success. What was that yesterday? I think it was for like Daniel or for Quad Z or I'm a motorhead. When I was a kid, I was a motorhead. That's why I call you Quad. Like I always think about the carburetor quads. So four Z's to me is a quad. Trip is a 3. Doc was Car Magazine champion in 1974. I was L Stock, I think it was. L Stock car champion for Car Magazine. So I'm a motorhead. So a lot of times, if it relates to it, just like Simon in mathematics with his last name there. So I relate to that way. And for you, I relate to it like I see 4, I automatically think 4-barrel carburetor. Yeah. So, but yes, look at that. We can do that safely. Hell, we can even be stupid and put the buy in the sell box, and not have a problem because we have the proof right here. We have the chart where we mark it. So we obviously messed up the fact check sheet there, having 3 days in a sell in oil when in fact it's in a buy. Let's see, what else do we got going on here? So Simon says check out all-time highs, and he was cool. It's beyond that. We've learned something here. In Hinkiashi, it actually took it out. So, like in theoretical highs and lows following the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that means a lot. When you can take something out on a theoretical basis, it can be insinuating that there's more to come. So don't be surprised, traders, if we find ourselves back at 74 again in the gold. That would not surprise me at all. So let's see, where else are we at here? What time do we have? Okay, we got plenty of time. It's only 22 after, so 21 after. All right, so let's go to what else we haven't looked at yet. Let's take a look at the Swiss. Let's see what the Swiss is doing. It's been riding down. It's been very happily moving on the downside, which makes it more valuable. Which, why not? They're smart. That currency is definitely a currency to be held. Right there. Right, chow. Look at that baby drop. Look at all that red. It's becoming more and more valuable every day. You know, it's kind of interesting in some ways. Is it's kind of like the dollar index. DXY is at what, 94, 93 and change, and so this thing's at 92. That's pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like on our quant. And on the spreadsheet, you can see it on line 21. We are now 9 weeks. Let's highlight that puppy. Let's see, Mr. Mouse, where are you? Right there. We are 9 weeks right there. See that? 9 weeks in a weekly sell. I haven't screwed that one up yet. And then you can see 7 days in the daily sell. So anybody who follows the spreadsheet is making buku dollar. That's right, buku. We use little Vietnamese, little Vietnam warriors. All right, ulai. Okay, let's see. Let's find that currency. Ulai. Where are you? There you are. And there it is. Down, down she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows as they spin the wheel. Spin that wheel. Doc, when he was in high school, was it high school? College. In college, I used to work on the boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey. And, it's like 1 in wins. Hey, step up over here. Oh, yeah, Doc's a maniac. Daniel! What's happening? What's happening? What was that product that you had me look up yesterday? That was pretty cool. It was something we've never looked at before. And it was pretty cool. It was really a nice test. That's why I like people asking for things to put up on there. Because it's always fun to see something new. And since my math works so well, it's always kind of fun to see it. And so I don't have to like hide and go like, oh, well, I need to change the numbers. Or that's how I ended up with Dukascopy in the beginning. Some charlatan was trying to sell people on Dukascopy. Dukascopy was trying to block him from doing it. And he was still trying to trick people that he was like some type of... what he was doing is he was manipulating his charts and not showing them live. And then pretending that his indicators were really, really good. And he wanted to advertise his website. And they were like, no, you can't advertise your website. Because he was doing them. I kept on saying to him, can't you do it live so we can see how good your indicators are? I said, I can put my indicators up there live. Can't you show yours live? Oh, no, we're too busy right now. Well, we chased him away after about 2 weeks. I just kept on asking him to put it up there live. No, he kept on. I could see that he was changing the numbers. So like one day it was this, and the next day it was that, and it was like 2 hours old, and it was like, wait a minute, all you're doing is trying to find the right indicator to match it up to make it look good. So anyway, that's how I ended up at Dukascopy. They let me do my stuff live, and it was pretty cool. It was like I was able to, have a lot of fun, and I've been having fun ever since. So, all right, it's the dollar Swiss doing its thing. Let's take a look at the yen. I remember someone yesterday saying to me, like, why is the yen doing better? You can see there, 6 weeks in a sell, 18 days in a daily sell. 18 days. What's that, 4 weeks? Almost 4 weeks now. In a daily sell. It doesn't look like it's doing much better today. And that's the NAS. That's the wrong one. Let's see, we want dollar yen. There it is. Still looks like it's going down. And so we've been in a sell on that thing for 18 days now. That thing always seems to follow the dollar. And there it is right there. And you can see that right there. So we've been in the weekly sell here and a daily sell there. And then it's now starting to escalate. So they knew back then, I guess. Some money somewhere knew that the push was going on. Was it? Oh, yes, it was Swiss yen. That was cool. Let's look at the Swiss yen again. That was so cool. Swiss yen. There it is right there. Do, 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 do. That's interesting. It's popping along now. Last day or so, it's weakening up a little bit. Let me see if I have the chart of that still. That was so cool. I love putting up something I've never seen before. You never know. I might find a decent trade. Now that we all have to be proactive instead of reactive. Where'd it go? We must. Oh, did we jump over to something else afterwards? Let's try it. There's Aussie yen. Did we do Aussie yen afterwards? Is that what it was? We must have gone to something like Aussie yen afterwards. I also recommend using Hinky Ashi on fourth chart. What fourth chart? Oh, 4 hour. 4 hour. See that? Who was it? Simon? See that? Not only don't I write very well in English, I obviously don't read very well in English either. So let's see. And I grew up in this country. So don't beat yourself up over that. Let's see. All right, I think we're run out of time. But what we will do is tune in tomorrow. We'll go after that. We'll take a look at a 4 hour one. I bet that's... Let me do this. Which one was it? Let me at least give you a picture of that in my math. You want to see it in my math or you want to see it on Dukascopy? Which one do you want to do it in? Oh, wait, Hinky Ashi, so Dukascopy. Okay. So, right there. That's interesting. Trading very well there, isn't it? Okay. Cool. All right. Anyway, Daniel says, because the current daily Hinky Ashi candle does delayed movement. Yeah, I know. That's why I never really I like it, but it's because if it's an average of the 4 points in space, the open, high, low, and close. Since it's an average, it runs as a delay all the time. So it's really tough to use it as a leading indicator. It's a lagging indicator. But no, my math doesn't do that. My math leads, but if I put it on a Hinky Ashi, it's going to be delayed. Yeah, my math is a leader, and Hinky Ashi is a lagger. But notice it does match the dots about 75% of the time, and that's pretty good, So, alrighty, we be out of here. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Doc saying arrivederci. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my trading friends.